Good morning, folks. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now, Kentucky. And of course, we do have another severe threat today, as well as Friday, as well as Saturday. And major rainfalls still expected throughout the state. So I want to take a moment here while things are a bit more calm in the state, kind of go over what exactly we're seeing threat-wise, timing things out for you guys a little bit, and just, again, kind of getting you guys acclimated to what we're going to... It's quite the pattern. Matter of fact... What did I write down just a little bit ago? I was doing some research, and we have had 728 plus severe warnings in a single day across the United States, which makes this the largest outbreak of severe weather since April 2nd of 2011 so far. So again, Wes already look exhausted. Yeah, hey, we're pushing through though. We're pushing through though. So again, it's been quite... When we talked about the potential for historic severe weather a few days ago, people called us clickbait and hype artists and all that good stuff the internet people are going to do. But this has been the worst severe outbreak, maybe not of depth, but of overall width in over 14 years. So once again, that was just yesterday. Today we're expecting more severe weather in Kentucky. We'll show you guys where. When, how, what, all that good stuff to expect that. And then, of course, we do expect maybe some brief severe windows on Friday and Saturday as well. We'll go over all that good information here with you guys. Again, as you're coming in, if you want to mind, as always, you guys hear me say this. If you've been here for a while, tap the share button at the bottom portion of your screen. Get this video out on your news feed so that way your friends and family can view it as well. Because I don't want a lot of folks let their guard down after last night, thinking that, oh, no way, we have more severe weather after that, but we do. Hey, Bo, how are you, my friend? Sabrina, good morning. How are you? Hope you got some rest. Yeah, I got a couple of hours in. Thank you. Is our risk for weather today going to be through the night again? We'll cover that, Cassie. Heather, good morning to you. Christy, good morning. Alexia, thank you for becoming a follower. Kevin, hello, welcome. Jack, Jenna, Stephanie, thank you for the shares. I appreciate your guys' help with that. Well, that coffee's sitting right on my teeth right now. I could honestly care less at this point, though. It could sit there for a second. I just finished my coffee literally as I was hitting go live. Good morning, Izzy. Good morning, Lex. Good morning, Caitlin. Maria, yes, good morning to you as well. Karen, good morning to you. Again, we'll get started here in about 30 seconds. Once we get to about 50 shares, I usually know it's about time to roll through. Once again, quite the historic night last night. Man, those supercells in Tennessee just kept going forever last night. I have never, in my very short career doing this of 7 to 8 years, I've never seen supercells train over a line like that, like they did in Middle Tennessee last night. That was flat out. That was one of the wildest things I think I've ever seen. George, it's too early for you to be live. I could not agree with you more. I want to let you guys know right now, George's brain does not start working until after lunchtime. All right, so we're going to get through this together. We're going to get through this together. All right. I want to show you guys some of what we saw last night, and then of course I want to show you the new model data coming in, all the new forecasts coming in. Again, we do expect a severe window to open up today, once again in Kentucky. But so far, we do have quite the report starting to funnel in, and these will continue to build. Sometimes surveys take a while to get fully done and get to hit the website here. So this will fill in over a while. Like we know from the videos and pictures that I've seen, we know that there was a tornado that occurred in eastern Louisville last night. We know there was possibly a tornado back out there toward Brandenburg last night. Again, just based off things that I've seen. We got the one in Murray here. We got the one in Paducah. Which, by the way, a couple of these tornadoes out here did cause a few life-threatening injuries. I think those folks are still fighting for their lives in the hospital out there. So, when people are getting injured like that level, they were quite significant. And again, we do have a severe... I know I see a lot of people asking what's going on here. Again, we do have another severe window opening today. I'll get to that here in just a moment. Right now, I'm just kind of recapping what we saw last night. So this blue that you're seeing here are wind reports. If they're in a triangle or a square form, they are severe or significant wind reports. And you can see quite a few of them are in square form in Kentucky. I know it might be hard to see on the broadcast. And once again, we do expect this to fill in, guys. It always takes 24 to 48 hours until after an event for things to really begin to fill in. So the fact that we already have 27 tornado confirmations, 255 wind, 106 hail, so on and so forth, at this point is already quite remarkable. Because again, it usually takes 48 hours to start getting this map to fill in. So the fact that we already have this here, it's remarkable. And you can see where the transition was: tornadoes to hail and wind. Pretty clear there. Once again, I do expect that to fill in. Once that does, I will share that to you guys on social media. I just want to kind of show you, you know, it was a wild night last night. So I do want to show you something else as well. Someone asked, by the way, what radar we're using here and if it's public software. They have a tornado warning at 10 o'clock in the morning, Tennessee. I'm just going to look at this for a second. What in the world? Just 1 second. Yep, that's, I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So we'll keep an eye on that. Make sure. I don't think that's going to come up here in Kentucky, but I'm glad we went live now. That's ridiculous. All right. But anyway, I want to show you guys real quickly. I don't know if I've ever seen a. I'm sure I have, but it's been a long time since I've seen a tornado warning at 10 o'clock in the morning here. That's pretty insane. Do want to show you guys this as well. Over 225 tornado warnings last night. That number has since risen. We're probably closer to 250 by now. Again, that's not confirmations. That's just warnings. But you can see where the focus was. Western Kentucky to along the Ohio River there. And again, there were a few more out here in southeastern Kentucky. Quite questionable warnings, though, if I'm being honest with you. That's why we didn't cover them very hard last night. So if you didn't hear me talking about it too much last night, they were very questionable. And that was, I'm talking about the window from 4 to 6 a.m. That, and I just had to get some sleep at some point last night. If we had this going on today, I had to get some sleep at some point. We do have a severe warning in Kentucky right now. This was supposed to be an update video, not a nowcast video. But nonetheless, we do have, while I'm here, we do have a severe warning for Burkesville to Albany to Jamestown. This is going to be for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. And, dude, what is going on with this atmosphere right now? Hold on. Now I've got to actually look at what the heck's happening here. No cape. Oh, there you go. That's why. There's a lot of helicity out there, so these storms are going to want to spin. So good thing I'm here with you guys. I guess we'll begin some live coverage here. Because, again, we have severe warnings down here for south central Kentucky. I'm not going to obsess over it. I still want to get our video done here. Where was I at? By the way, someone asked about the radar we use here. It is WeatherWise, weatherwise.app. You'll see it's scrolling right there on your screen. You can go to your browser, download the app on your phone, or use it in the browser. And yes, it is free. And yes, the public can use it. There is also a premium option as well. We know last night got bad. We didn't know about today. Misty, I will get to that, my friend. I always do a recap, and then we'll go into it. Obviously, we got slowed down a little bit here by the severe weather that's coming in right now. Again, I will get into it, folks. I know a lot of you are anxious and stuff, but listen, we had 8 hours of coverage yesterday. We're going to have it all going today. Sharice with a $100 donation. Oh, my goodness. Wanted to donate last night, but didn't want to distract you. Thank you this week. And Sharice, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Again, folks, just stay patient with me here. It's a slow morning, okay? I'm dragging a little bit here. I'm only human. All right? So, I do want to show you last night, by the way, as well. Those storms came through. Here are your dew points currently active right now. So you could tell that it didn't really do a whole lot to the atmosphere. I mean, those storms were very powerful. And they still didn't do a whole lot for the atmosphere there. We still have dew points in the low 60s to support a severe risk today. So here it's the HRRR model. What's the app? Again, WeatherWise.app there. It's going to be scrolling on your screen under the sponsor section. Yes, they're technically a sponsor, but even if they weren't, I would definitely still use them. All right. So I want to show you the HRRR model. It's not going to show anything super impressive. This is valid for 11 a.m. Eastern time. You can tell that right there doesn't really have a severe risk, but we do have severe storm over here in Burkesville. So it's not 100% accurate right now. But here you go. Throughout the early afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern time, does show some nice stronger cells on there for maybe Bowling Green to Somerset to Pikeville. 2 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to continue to lift a little bit farther north there. I don't think the risk comes too far into Kentucky today, just on that southern portion of the state. Okay, cool. I'll go check and see what the news says. Go ahead. Why do people think that the world revolves around them, folks? I do not care. I do not care. And I'm not trying to be rude here, but I hate when people do that. It's like when you go to McDonald's and you don't get exactly what you want. You're like, oh, well, I'll go to Wendy's. Like that's gonna like okay, go. I love you guys, but I'm not gonna sit there and fight like that. We run the broadcast. We run the broadcast here. I think it's so important to provide context and then go into what we do. All right, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Bowling Green to Somerset to Pikeville. Again, we do have the potential for severe storms to start to ramp up around that time. Again, that's 3 p.m. The time frame is up here in the top left. Up here at 4 p.m. Eastern time, it does show the indication of some sort of rotating cells, maybe from around Moorhead to Somerset, back down to Bowling Green in a line there. 5 p.m. Eastern time, we do... Oh, sorry, this person's cracking me up. Talking about the news, I promise you, they're not talking about you. 5 p.m. Eastern time, Bowling Green down here to the south into, what is that, about Tompkinsville, almost the same spot here. Yeah, about Burkesville, Tompkinsville there. Maybe a rotating cell there, as well as Somerset. Out here toward maybe Louisa, Kentucky. Again, it's 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then we have 6 p.m. Eastern time. Again, maybe the window's starting to shut down then, but then it's just the same areas over and over again. So I'm going to kind of draw it on a map here, kind of give you some context. What radar are we on? Okay, that one. Turn that off for a second real quickly. I'm sorry about that again. You do a hell of a job. I appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate you guys, man. These people are killing me lately. People are killing me lately. So I think there is a severe risk today, and I'm going to show you the SPC's maps. But I think in my eyes, that severe risk is mainly from right there to point south. I think that's pretty much your severe risk today. Can we get a couple of severe cells like north of this line? Sure. But I want to tell you guys again that I don't expect it to be anything like last night. Again, last night was such a historic night. And we could get a few more tornado warnings, a few more severe thunderstorm warnings, especially in the blue circle here. But once again, I don't expect a whole lot of activity. Caroline, thank you for your $5 donation on YouTube. I appreciate that. Have you even had any rest, sir? I slept for a couple of hours. We love you. I appreciate all your all's guys and comments. I don't let it get to me. It's just funny when people do that. It's just like, okay, okay, it's just. Like, go then. You don't have to announce it to me. I promise it's not going to break my heart. Of course, I would love you guys to stay in here, support us, and watch us. But on the same hand, I want to earn that through the work. I'm definitely not gonna beg anybody. That's for sure. Williamson, Elkhorn City, Pikeville, Prestonsburg, Paintsville, Hindman, Harlan, Cumberland, Pine. Basically, the areas that may have gotten a little bit lower of the threat yesterday is going to get a little bit higher of the threat today. I think the main risk is going to be damaging winds and large hail, with a few spin-up tornadoes possible. Again, I don't see a whole lot of activity here. And again, this is the main window in my eyes is going to be 3 to 8 Eastern. That's going to be the main window. Obviously, right now, you got a cell right here, so you can see some cells outside of this window. That's how you know you made it. You have to monitor the chat more on hand. Yeah, we used to never have to do that. Now, I guess... yeah, but 3 to 8 is I think the main time frame. We could see some cells before and after that could turn severe. But again, this is the peak time frame for me, in my eyes. So that's our little zone there. All right, here is the outlook from the SPC. I want to show you this. This is for today. Does have a slight risk all the way up into the Ohio River. So again, we could see a couple of cells, north of that blue circle that I showed. It would not surprise me at all. And again, it would not surprise me at all, but it's not too incredibly high. On the actual risk maps, risk maps here, that risk comes back down almost exactly where I just drew that blue circle there. And again, it's not anything super crazy today. It's a 5% tornado risk out there in southeastern Kentucky as the peak in the state there. Basically where I drew that blue circle. The wind risk is about a 15% chance for severe winds. Again, that yellow area. The hail risk is not very large today. But we could see some hail up to about 1.25 inch diameter down there in southeastern Kentucky. Again, not an overwhelming severe threat like we did see yesterday, but still one we have to pay attention to today. Day 2, by the way, this is going to be for Friday. Severe risk does pose itself once again out there for western Kentucky. We'll touch on that probably later on tonight. Again, I like to take these things one thing at a time here because when you start talking about multiple days at one time, it's going to confuse a lot of folks. Day 3, which is Saturday tonight, we do see another severe risk, basically for the same areas that we just saw for last night. Again, don't know how that's going to evolve and look. This is a very dynamic system, as you guys can kind of tell. It's very rare for us to get 4 days back to back to back to back like that. So you know you're dealing with a very complex system at that point. Again, it's good. I like to take it one day at a time because I think things are going to change a little bit as the storm system keeps evolving. By the way, I want to touch on it one more time. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning right now that is active in this yellow area. I do want to check it because it's got a little hook to it. No real rotation there. Burkesville to Albany to Jamestown, again, severe warning there. And I'm kind of gonna stay on here with you guys again because this tornado warning may track up toward Kentucky as well. We'll keep an eye. I don't know if it's gonna make it all the way up here, but we'll keep an eye on it because last night a lot of these cells from Tennessee did make it into Kentucky. They were severe at first, but they quickly died down because again, severe weather doesn't really love this area in eastern Kentucky. It just doesn't. So that's what am I forgetting here? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, yes, the rainfall totals. And then I'll get to some questions. Rainfall totals over the next few days are quite impressive on models. By the way, we have already seen, just to kind of add to this a little bit, pretty the last 24 hours, we've already seen 3 inches of rainfall down in Allen County and Scottsville, 3 inches of rainfall in Metcalfe County. And again, these numbers might not be 100% accurate, but they're pretty close. A general 1 to 3 inches across the state there, as you can see just from last night. And it does kind of reflect that here a little bit as well. So if you add about 2 inches to all of these numbers, that's roughly a 6 to 10 inch range from Lexington to Louisville, Elizabethtown, Bowling Green, Paducah, so on and so forth. Your browns there are your heavier streaks. And again, this is expected to fall by late Sunday night going into Monday morning. To put that into perspective, this map right here would indicate 70 to 85 inches of snowfall. That's how much rain we're looking at over the next 3 to 4 days in Kentucky. So again, a substantial amount of rainfall to go along with all of your severe threats. Quite the activity unfolding in Kentucky. All right, I'll get to a few questions now. Again, I'm probably not going to spend too much time on this broadcast. I want to wait a second, but I do want to take it a little bit lighter today. Again, after last night, I'm going to try to sneak in a little nap at some point if I can. I don't think the risk, again, the risk is not nearly as high as today. I think if we do see increased activity, I'm going to draw the circle again because I know it's probably going to be asked for. And again, there could be a couple of severe warnings outside of this area that I'm about to draw. But this area to me would be the main area today for the potential for severe weather. And again, you guys remember it's a 5% tornado risk, a 15% wind risk, and a 15% hail risk. To put that in perspective, last night out in Western Kentucky, they saw a 30% tornado risk, a 45% wind risk, and a 30% hail risk. So you know what, today's definitely on the lower side of things. It's not zero, so that's why we wanted to go live and kind of let you guys know, hey, this is what it's at. Again, the peak time frame being 3 to 8 Eastern time. Again, we could see cells before that, obviously, like right now. We could see cells outside of that, but that's the peak time frame for when the best wind energy and mixture of all energies does exist. No, and again, outside of this blue circle, I know it's going to be asked a lot. Outside of this blue circle, I expect that we'll see a couple of random severe thunderstorm warnings of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some small hail. So even if you're outside of this blue circle, again, kind of just loosely pay attention today. It's not a dire situation today. I think yesterday was absolutely a dire situation. Today, that's not the case, but this is kind of a smaller severe threat that we still need to pay attention to. Again, I'm going to give the same time frame for everybody, folks. 3 to 8 p.m. Eastern time is the peak time frame. We can see cells before that and after that. I cannot get more specific than that because you guys saw it for yourself on the model there. The cells are going to continue to train over the same areas all day, so I can't give you any real time frame because you're going to see activity all day long. Lisa, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Good morning, Bo. Do you think I should leave to find shelter? No. Welcome to our pond completely flooded. Why doesn't Kentucky have any HasGams in the WeatherWise app? We're working on things. We're working on things. Doing a great job. We appreciate you, Diane. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, my friend. And again, that person. I just thought it was funny. Frankie, thank you for your $20 donation. I appreciate that. Shelby, thank you for your $10 donation. I appreciate you guys. Don't you guys start going crazy with these donations again. Could you or someone give us a brief rundown? Yeah, I'll give you guys a brief rundown of how to use a WeatherWise radar. I know a lot of you have downloaded it and have asked me. So once again, when you first get into the radar, these blue radar dots are your radar sites. So you have to turn one of these on in order to see the radar pop up. Obviously, you want to go to the one that's closest near you. The closer your radar is, the more accurate it's going to be. All right, so you want to go to one that's as close to you as possible. If you do not see these radars turn on, I'm going to go to the full screen for a second real quickly. I believe it says, yes. If you do not see one of these radars turn on, or any of these dots anyway, make sure up here, and this is going to look different on your phone, but it's going to be the same bar. Make sure that you have the radar clicked. Sometimes it'll pop, when it first opens, it'll pop up satellite or outlooks or whatever it might be. Make sure you have the radar clicked. You'll see these dots pop up. And again, you'll know if the radar is on, if that radar is turned green, and of course, if you see activity around that radar. All right. So that's reflectivity down here in the bottom left. And again, it might look a little bit different on the mobile device if you're using it on your phone, but the bars will still be the same. So reflectivity, 9 times out of 10 is what you guys are going to use. It's what you guys should mainly stick on. That's your rain. That's how strong the rain is, so on and so forth. And it's very good. It's high resolution. It's not that crappy AccuWeather or Weather Underground or whatever it might be, Weather Channel radar. This is technically a professional radar, but don't be overwhelmed. It's very easy to use. All right. Again, you can change to the velocity here and kind of measure your wind gust. Hang on a second. No, it's not that one. And again, you can switch radars to look at it from different perspectives. So like that's what I did right there. So I saw a little signature right here, but that was on the Louisville radar. But I switched radars to confirm, and I no longer see that indication. So I know that the majority of the radars do not show that. And again, sometimes different radars provide different angles, so you can help look at those things. You can measure wind gust here. There's going to be a little measuring tool somewhere on your phone, and you can measure wind gust. And again, when you download the app, at first, it's going to be defaulted to meters per second, but you can actually go down here to this box, scroll down, and again, there is a tornado warning now, by the way. Hold on. I did see that, but it didn't show it on the other radars. We do have a tornado warning down here. This is going to be for Clinton County, southeastern Cumberland County, and south central Kentucky. Again, it's going to be for Albany, Kentucky, to decide, snow 76. Again, a tornado warning is now active in Kentucky at this time, here at the 11 o'clock morning hour, Eastern time. So, real quickly, just to finish up on that, that's not really an impressive signature, to be honest with you guys. But down here, if you go into this box down here, and again, it might look a little bit different on your phone, but you have all these settings that you can use. And again, just play around with it. The best way that you can learn the radar is just kind of learn the basics and then kind of play around. There's also these question marks right here that tell you what every single thing is. It's going to really help you guys understand that. But you can go to the velocity unit, change that from meters per second to miles per hour to what we all understand, and then you can do that. Also, a really cool thing about WeatherWise radars, they have a 3D radar, by the way. I don't know exactly if that's going to work here, but it's a really cool thing. I have to figure out how to use it on the computer. I only know how to use it on the phone. But 9 times out of 10, most of you are going to use only those first two, reflectivity or velocity. Beyond that, and you need a lot more. You need a lot more time to just understand that. And again, I would just the way I learned the radar back in the day, guys. But when I was 12, 13 years old, is I just I was like, what is correlation coefficient? So I Googled it, looked at different images, watched different YouTube videos. So if you're really curious, I would do something like that. But for most of you, what you're going to use is this one right here, reflectivity. And again, make sure you're picking a radar site that's closest to you. Also, you can go up here to outlooks, and you can see the outlooks from the SPC. So you can hit the drop down there. They have all the outlooks from all the National Weather Service branches. So if you don't want to wait on me to update it on the page or whatever it might be, you can say, hey, what is my categorical outlook today for the National Weather Service? Well, I know I'm in a slight risk now. And you can click on that, and you can read all of what the National Weather Service is saying. Now, this is going to be nerdy weather terms. But nonetheless, it's all there in case you want to read that. And again, you can have tornado outlooks as well, wind outlooks. And again, that's all there from the National Weather Service. So straight from those folks. that's a general basic overview of how to use it. Again, most folks are going to use those main two things. And I do plan on doing a more in-depth video at some point whenever things slow down. I feel like since January things have just been going full steam, whether it be snow or severe weather. And every time I think it's about to slow down, we get another wave. So once again, for those of you that are tuning in, we do have a tornado warning active down here in Albany, Kentucky to snow 76, heading along Highway 1590 there, about to cross over that intersection there. And again, if this continues on, it will be in Monticello here in about 20 minutes or 25 minutes or so. Again, big if, because the overall signature is not all that impressive. Well, now it is. Now it is. And again, we do have a tornado warning active. Let me go ahead and make this post real quickly. Yes, we are in for severe weather. What's the name of the radar? It is WeatherWise radar. You can go to weatherwise.app in your browser, and you will have an option to download it from there. Hang on, I'm getting this post out on Facebook for people that may not be knowing what we're seeing right now, and I'm also getting this post out on Twitter real quickly, so we can make sure we letting folks know that there is a tornado warning in Kentucky for Albany, and this does look like the signature of a pretty solid rotation down there. Again, for those of you that are looking for forecast information, we just went over that. I will go over that here in a moment once again, whenever the tornado warning has expired. Okay, tweets are out, posts are out. I found this channel last night and it's won me over. I usually watch Ryan Hall, but not last night. Dave, I appreciate that, my friend. Ryan puts me to sleep and Max freaks me out. I'll put you to sleep and freak you out at the same time. Again, we do have a tornado warning active for Albany, Kentucky. And again, if this continues on, it would be out toward Monticello in about 25 minutes. So I'll draw a little 25 right there over Monticello. Actually, I don't want to put it right on the name because you can't see. In about 25 minutes there. And if this does continue on, probably go toward North Corbin, maybe South London right there, in about an hour or so. So about 60 minutes. Again, a big if on that. If it continues on. But we do have a tornado warning active down here in Albany, Kentucky. And those are kind of your, I know it's not the greatest right there. I'm not Bob Ross by any means. But we do have an indication of rotation down here. And this is the only severe warning in Kentucky, so I'm not going to answer too many questions about other places. Good morning, Harry. Yeah, we are seeing some nice radar returns now. I'm going to take that off real quickly. I'm going to switch. Trying to notice if we could see a correlation drop, but this is right in the heart of yet another radar gap. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. It's hard to tell. Might be able to see from this one. No, it's just really hard to tell there. Yeah, see right here where we're getting this little mixture of winds going in from the radar and out from the radar. Well, I did not expect to be covering a tornado warning at 11 o'clock in the morning, but we have so much wind energy out there that, you know, honestly, it does not surprise me. Again, we do have a tornado warning right now. This rotation is going to track just to the north of Albany into Snow, Kentucky, 76, Watauga, Kentucky. And again, if that continues on, it will be in Monticello in about 25 minutes. Yellow dots are more smaller local radars that no one ever really uses. Charles, good morning to you. I know you got to be a bit tired, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I bought a weather radio. What's the best channel? I was lost when we lost connections. The best thing to do for weather radios, guys, is you can go to Google and you can type in like for example, you can see what I typed in right here. weather radio frequency, and you can put your county, and actually it will pop up immediately under the AI there if you want it, or you can go right here and click on it, and it will tell you that's not the right website. Where is right here? So again, it'll show you NWR county coverage is the website, and you can go here and find your county and pick the radio frequency that goes along with it. Again, for those of you tuning in, we do have a tornado warning active for Albany, Kentucky. It's going to head out toward Monticello here in about 25 minutes. Do you ever sleep? I mean, I have a kid now, so I'm already kind of used to it. Digging WeatherWise, thanks for sharing. No problem, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for using that radar. Again, to me, it's the best radar out there, and one of the best parts about it, it is free. Did Louisville get a lot of damage last night? Yeah, we did see quite a bit of damage from around Jeffersonville or Jeffersontown. I'm sorry about that. And then we tracked it almost perfectly here. It was started just to the west of J-Town and went up toward the Eastwood, Simpsonville areas. Yeah, there were some crazy reports. George, did you sleep at all last night? Yeah, I slept from about 6 to 8 a.m. About that time there. I was trying to sleep longer, but we did have some damages to our gate outside, and my dog got outside, and there's like a crazy lady across the street that was freaking out, so she was just yelling at us all morning about it. Monticello sirens are going off. Yeah, you're in the same county, so you're going to hear those sirens go off again. We do have a nice signature of rotation here. It's not overly impressive, and because this is in slight. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired, man. And because this is in a slight radar gap, we really can't see any correlation charts. So right now, but we do see a nice radar signature here of potential rotation. And again, that's just to the north of Albany, heading toward Upchurch, Cartwright, Nora. And then again, if this can hang on, it will be toward Monticello in about 20 minutes. Is there a total of tornadoes that were confirmed from last night? I believe right now we're sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tornadoes out there in western Kentucky. And again, we'll see. I know we'll definitely have another confirmation from Louisville. We'll definitely have another confirmation from Bardstown, I believe. I think we saw, or just north of Bardstown, I should say. Saw some pictures there that definitely indicated some rotate or a tornado might have hit there. I think we'll see another confirmation eventually in Brandenburg. Potentially another confirmation just to the north of Henderson, Kentucky at some point. I'm trying to remember everything. Last night was kind of a blur. There was so much. Just to the west of Mount Olivet, I think we saw some nice rotation there on that cell. Yeah, so I think we still have probably another 8 to 9 potential tornado confirmations still to go. Again, those are going to take time, folks. Tornado warning right now is that purple box that you're seeing on your screen there just to the north of Albany. Again, if this continues out, it's going to be in Monticello. We did open this broadcast with the forecast information for today. Again, once this tornado warning is allowed to expire, we'll go over that forecast information once again. So just hang on tight here with us. Seen a half-mile tornado form on Dixie between Radcliffe and 40272. Yeah, so I think that one's probably going to be confirmed eventually as well. I know what you're talking about. That's what I'm talking about from Brandenburg. That one went from Brandenburg to just to the north of West Point there, and then up here toward Valley Station. Basically the same one. So we may see this one be confirmed as more of a slightly long track. That started just to the west of Brandon. Actually, that one started all the way out toward Cloverport. Now that it's coming back to me. Now I don't know if it was on the ground the entire time, but that one started right around here, and then went to Brandenburg. And I know it was rotating that entire time, and then it kind of lost in the radar there. We'll still have to wait. But that one is the same one that tracked it this way, and it kind of ended about right there. Again, don't know if it was on the ground for that long, but that one was definitely, now that it's coming back to me, that was definitely the same cell. Weather spotters have reported a funnel cloud out here in Albany. So now we're starting to get some reports coming in that this might actually be a tornado that is occurring out here just to the north of Albany, in Snow, Kentucky more specifically. And again, if this holds together, we'll be in Monticello in about 15 to 20 minutes. George, can you draw the line again? I will in a second, folks. I will in a minute. Again, once this tornado warning is allowed to expire, we'll recap all that forecast information that we opened the broadcast with. But right now, I want to focus on the tornado warning. We do have an extension of that tornado warning for the next hour out for Monticello, Kentucky to Burnside. So once again, Monticello, go ahead and get ready for your safe spots. You'll need to be in there in about 15 minutes. Again, for Monticello, that looks like it's going to take a direct path right to your city. No, there's no tornado warning in Louisville. No. So when we were talking about Louisville, we were talking about last night. Again, right now, the only severe cell in the state is this cell for Albany to Monticello that's now tornado warned and has been spotted as a funnel cloud. I don't see any confirmations of it being on the ground yet. I'm sure Heather's looking. I'm looking as well to see if we have any confirmations. And we do have tornado warning active north of Albany, heading toward Monticello. It'll be in Monticello in about 12 to 15 minutes. So you have time to get to your safe spots, grab your flashlights, weather radios, batteries, so on and so forth. I'm looking to see if we have any pictures or anything coming in. I don't see anything. Every dang line this morning has been in the exact same position for Pulaski County. It really has been. It was amazing. I know you guys really didn't see it down here in Tennessee, but it was amazing. What was it? I'm sure Heather could help me out with it. But Bellevue to Nashville to Mount Juliet to Lebanon, down there in Middle Tennessee, it was almost like a training line of supercells. It was something like we don't really see. I mean, I don't think I know I've never seen a training line of supercells like that. Again, I've not been doing that. I've not been doing this for too terribly long, 7 years. But I've never seen a training line of supercells like that. That was insane. Yes, you guys are good. Again, we'll go over here again in a second. We'll go over it here in a second. Once more, once I see that this radar kind of trends down a little bit. We did open the broadcast with that forecast information for today. I think there is a small severe threat today for southern half of Kentucky. Again, I will outline those areas here soon. But right now, we're focused on that tornado warning that's active for Albany to Monticello to Burnside. Yes, last night was rough. Yeah, that was a. I saw James had to go to his shelter like 7 different times. that was ridiculous. Radar holes are rough. Not seeing the CC drop though. Yeah, it's right, and that's why we need to get one. We need to get a radar for like Somerset. That would eliminate this radar hole. I mean, that's just a lot of space in between radars there. Somerset to Monticello, maybe Somerset there would be a great spot for a radar. Again, by the way, we do have a tornado signature here on the radar from WeatherWise. Trying to find and see if there's any correlation drop anywhere. Again, it's just really hard to identify here with this being in a radar gap. I'm trying to go to different tilts. Yeah, we're just not gonna be able to see that. Which radar were we on? Were we on the Louisville radar? Yeah, I guess we'll stick on that one. Again, we'll go over all the threats for today and throughout the next couple of days. Once this tornado warning is at least allowed to tick down on the radar here. Again, going to be really hard to see though. I'll go over all the forecast information here in just one moment, guys. Again, we did open the broadcast with it, but we had this tornado warning pop up, so we had to stop the forecast coverage and go to a nowcast style because we do have a tornado warning in Kentucky exiting the Albany area heading toward Monticello. Yeah, no, Heather, we're working on the we're working on some things to fix a lot of the camera issues. Again, if you don't see your city on the map right now, that's because we are zoomed in onto Monticello and Albany for this tornado warning here in the purple box. Robin, thank you very much. I appreciate your kind words, my friend. Yeah, we're definitely in that radar gap now. It's going to start to be really hard to see. I'm trying everything here. Maybe the Nashville radar? Theoretically, that's the closest one. You can kind of see it a little bit there. This is just not wanting to see it. You see it on storm relative velocity a little bit better there, where that red and green are lining up. Not overly impressive, but it is enough to prompt that warning. Again, tornado warning is active. It'll be in Monticello probably within the next 10 minutes. Probably about 8 to 10 minutes out. It looks like it's right north of Highway 90 there. Looks like it's on the back side of the cell, which is kind of interesting. Again, guys, purple box is those folks that need to be in the shelter. Somerset's north of the purple box. You do not need to be in shelter. Burnside and Monticello still need to remain in their shelter there. Again, if this does continue on, it would be near London in about an hour and a half. But once again, I can't really foresee this hanging on. But you know, this much helicity out here, it's not going to take much cape at all. Kind of weird how the Louisville radar is the one showing it the best. I guess my son's awake. I can hear him. Oh, thank you, Macy. Have you slept? Yeah, I slept for a couple of hours, from about 6 to 8 a.m. What about Nancy? The sirens just went off. If you're in the same county as anyone in the warning box, you're going to hear those sirens go off. But no, Nancy, Kentucky's not involved in that tornado warning. Is the trajectory of this heading toward Barberville? Probably will go north of Barberville. Somerset's outside of the warning box. This should go just to your south. Let's check back in our velocity charts here. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot here at the moment, but once again, this is in a radar gap, so it could be a bit skewed. We've seen that several times. It's in a very large radar gap here. So we need to get like a radar in Somerset, or maybe focus on. I'll reach out to Pulaski County and see if we can maybe get a camera network going down there. Because it's always this area. You just cannot see what storms are doing out here because this radar gap is just, and it's the same thing for northern Kentucky. Because for some reason this Wilmington radar, it is not good. It is not good. It does not go out very far. The Nashville radar is trying to pick up on a little bit. I mean, it's very. This is the very like lower limits of a tornado warning. Is that green? It is. So it's trying to pick up on it right there. But again, but that's very, 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 very broad. If we have rotation right now, it would be right there. Again, that would head off right toward Monticello. I know my drawing is not perfect there, but you kind of get an idea. What's the peach color by Lexington? That's just radar. That's just radar scatter, guys. I'll let you guys know if there's a threat in your areas. Right now, it's really just down here in the very southern corner of Kentucky. That's it for right now. Again, we did open this broadcast with forecast information for of today's expected severe threat. I will get to that here in just a second. Let me go ahead and cover that real quickly. So yes, we do have another severe threat today. I'm going to go ahead and turn the radar off for just a second. Again, Monticello, you need to remain in your safe spots. Burnside, remain in your safe spots. Slat, number 1. Watauga, Waitzula, Barrier, Delta, Kidder, Touristville, Burnside, Tateville, Blue John need to be in their safe spots. This box does not include Somerset. I know you're probably hearing the sirens there, but this box does not include you. Nancy, this box does not include you. Delmore, this box does not include you. So once again, I know you guys are hearing those sirens, but it does not include you. Okay. So that said, let's go ahead and show you where the expectation for severe storms might be today. And again, there may be some cells or some severe warnings outside of this, but to me, this is the area today. And you can probably, let's go ahead and throw Bowling Green in there. This is the area today that's at the most risk for severe weather. And again, it's a much lower risk than yesterday. It's about a 5% tornado risk, about a 15% severe wind risk, and about what was it, 5 or 15? I think it's 5% hail risk. So again, to me, this is the main area today that has the severe risk. If you're outside of this blue circle, again, you can still see a couple. I think we may still see a couple of random severe warnings that would not surprise me with the amount of wind energy that we have out there. But this is the main circle here. The peak time frame is going to be 3 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. Again, we could see cells and severe warnings outside of that, aka right now. But the main peak time frame is 3 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So again, blue circle, 3 to 8 p.m. Eastern time, main time frame there. Outside of the blue circle, could still see a couple of borderline severe warnings, but the severe energy is just not great enough for you guys to be under a higher end threat. Regardless, no matter where in Kentucky, though, this is not as big of a threat as last night, but it is still one that we have to cover. No, this is not heading toward Barberville. It's going north of Barberville. Earl, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, Somerset warning sirens are going to go off because you are in the same county as the warning, but this does not include Somerset. Again, I'm not going to get into all the backyard questions, guys. Please just look at the map there. If you are inside of that blue circle, know you have a severe threat of a 5% tornado risk, 15% severe wind risk, 5% hail risk. The peak time frame is 3 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can see cells outside of that window, but that's the peak time frame. We could see a couple of random severe warnings outside of this blue circle. Would not surprise me, but the guarantee or the confidence is not as high as it is down here in the blue circle. No, Albany. I mean, technically, yes, you are still in the box, but the rotation has moved out of your area. Is BG in that circle? It's very close. You can go ahead. Again, I'm a human being, so the line's not going to be perfect here. So if you are very close to the blue circle, obviously, you just go ahead and kind of include yourself. Like Bowling Green, Campbellsville, Horse Cave, Russellville, Elkton, Stanford, Irvine, West Liberty, Louisa. Those places I accidentally drew the line over. Obviously, just kind of include yourself in that, just to be safe. Yes, tornado rotation. Tornado warning is for Monticello. Yes. I already had some coffee. Thank you. I'll take that as well. No, I just heated up the stuff from yesterday. Okay, but thank you, honey. Daniel, what are you doing? He's so bad. Good morning, Anna. No. Yes, Greensburg is very close to this area, so you can go ahead and include yourself. So again, I'm going to leave this up for about another 35 seconds or so. Please look at the map. If you know that you're inside of the circle, you do have a low wind severe risk today. Main time frame 3 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. We can still see a couple of severe warnings outside of this blue circle, but the confidence is not as high for those areas. But once again, the blue circle is the main area today. And again, it's not an overwhelming threat today, but we could still see a couple of brief spin ups. Mainly damaging winds today for those places in that blue circle from 3 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time as your peak time frame, because he sells before and after that as well. Thunderstorms are going to be continuous all the way through Friday. So for people going to ask when is the rain going to stop or when are the storms going to stop, they are not. Again, there's a reason we're projecting 8 to 12 inches of rainfall for most of Kentucky. And again, the reason is because the rain is not going to stop. Hopkinsville is not in that circle. Yes, Elizabeth, I miss him. I miss him a lot. I haven't got to see him a whole lot the last couple of days. Yes, Beck, it's going to be a long weekend. Pronouncing Irvine wrong? That's fine. You guys understand what I'm talking about. Irvine, Irving. You guys understand. You guys know what I'm talking about. I just seen someone say we could see intense tornadoes with the wind energy. Maybe down there for Tennessee. I think for us here, we're a little bit above that main energy, I believe. Now, we could still see a couple of tornadoes today in Kentucky in that blue circle, but as far as intense, that's a very careful word. Intense for me means EF3 or greater. I don't think we see that probability in Kentucky. Richmond's not in that blue circle, but very close to it, so obviously you kind of just play it by ear at that point. Yes, Albany can go home now. That rotation has moved out of your area. Yeah, John, again, I do want to reiterate, outside of the blue circle, we still may see a couple of severe warnings, but it's not going to be anything life-threatening. It's not going to be anything that's going to ruin your life. And once again, the confidence is not as high outside of that blue circle. Russellville is included in that blue circle, yes. So the easiest way to understand this threat for today is the areas that saw the lower risk yesterday are going to be the areas that see the higher risk today. The areas that saw the higher risk yesterday are going to be the areas that see the lower risk today. So that's the easiest way to kind of understand what's going to be occurring today. Again, we do still have a tornado warning active for Monticello, Kentucky. Remain in your safe spots. Yes, Somerset, you are not included in this warning box. Yes, Bowling Green is right there. End of the circle. You can see Bowling Green right there. All right, I'm kind of done with that for now. I feel like we have exhausted that at this point. I want to touch base on this warning down here from Monticello, and then we'll get back into the forecast information here in a second. Yeah, I'm just not... Well, maybe. It's very, very broad, though. And again, it's in that radar gap, so it's so hard. It's so incredibly hard to identify. I'm just not seeing a whole lot. Again, does not mean there's not anything there. Maybe just to the west of Monticello right now. But again, I'm just not seeing a whole lot there. The blue circle was the severe risk for today. Again, want to touch base on the SPC outlooks just for a second, real quickly again. Kind of show you all. Yellow is your slight risk today. There is nothing greater than a 2 out of 5 risk in Kentucky today. For example, we saw a 5 out of 5 risk in western Kentucky yesterday. Tornado outlook looks like this. Basically along those same areas that I just circled there. Oak Grove, Russellville, Bowling Green, Horse Cave, Campbellsville, Columbia, Edmonton, Scottsville, Tompkinsville, Corbin, London, Somerset, Broadhead, Berea, Stanford, Boonville, Jackson, Hindman, Prestonsburg, Paintsville, Williamson, Elkhorn City, Pikeville, Jenkins, Cumberland, Harlan, Hazard, Pineville, Williamsburg, Barberville, Jellicoe, Albany, Monticello, Tompkinsville, Burkesville. Again, those are the areas that are at the slightly elevated risk for tornadoes today. Again, it's only 5%, so it's not anything too great, but it is still a risk there. The best odds, in my opinion, are back out toward Middle Tennessee, toward Arkansas, so I agree heavily with this forecast here for the SPC. Your wind risk today, the winds are going to be kicking, guys. The winds are going to be kicking no matter where you are. Yellow risk, 15%. That stretches from Lexington to Morgantown to Hopkinsville to Murray to points southeast there. Your hail risk is not that great today. It's only about a 15% risk, but it's still there for probably 1-inch diameter hail. Again, pretty much the same areas there. So again, not an overwhelming risk today, guys. So I want everyone to take a breath. It's not an overwhelming risk today, and to me, the main risk is down there where we drew that blue circle. Yeah, I imagine they're probably going to cancel this warning. I just don't see any evidence here to support it at this point. But once again, it is in a radar gap, so it's really hard to tell. Again, if there is rotation, it would be right over Monticello right now, heading out toward Burnside down here in south central, southeastern Kentucky. Yes, Monticello is under that tornado warning right now. Gary, welcome in, my friend. Yes, Monticello should be in their safe places. Are there any breaks in the storms today? Not really, my friend. Again, you'll see off and on. You'll see little breaks. Can't really project those, though. But as of right now, again, the overwhelming consistency of rain today is going to be exhausting. What would it take to get a radar put out here in Somerset for people to stop defunding our National Weather Service? I know I'm going to lose like 150 viewers for saying that. It is what it is, but that's God's honest truth. Thank you for all the shares on the broadcast, by the way. I appreciate that. Thank you guys again for helping us spread this information out. Did you get any sleep last night? I got a couple of hours from about 6 to 8 a.m. No, it's not really a local government. Now, there are collaborations that you can do for like smaller radars like you see in yellow. But for the most part, it's the National Weather Service that owns and operates all those radars, which is why they are so critical to saving your all's lives. One touch in Zula. Where is Zula at? That wouldn't surprise me too much. We did see a brief uptick on the rotation there from basically north of Albany to Zula. That wouldn't surprise me too much. I did see a funnel cloud get reported. I have not seen any official confirmations yet. Is it headed toward Williamsburg? No, this will go north of Williamsburg. Again, the tornado threat for today, guys, is generally very low for everyone. It's about 5% in the peak zones, which is not anything very incredible. Put that into perspective, Western Kentucky last night saw a 30% tornado risk. So just to have some context and perspective for you guys. Melissa with the $50 donation. Oh my goodness, I appreciate that so much. Again, thank you, Melissa, for that $50 donation. That is, you guys are insane with these donations. What you all did last night was incredible. Supposed to fly out of Louisville on Saturday morning. I'm wondering if I should cancel my trip. I mean, I don't know exactly where you're heading, but the lower level jet's going to be rocking. So my advice to you is, I mean, you can. They're not going to let you fly if it's unsafe. You know what I mean? But my advice to you is to pack a vomit bag because you're probably going to be very nauseous from the turbulence. I had to come to YouTube to watch because my news in my area wasn't even live last night for southeastern Kentucky. Yeah, I don't know what all the restrictions are, but thankfully we have no restrictions, and we're able to be live here with you guys throughout all of it. Monticello is in a tornado warning box and to remain in their safe spots. Once again, the radar's not really picking up on much rotation, but once again, this is in a radar gap, so I can't really be for sure on exactly what's happening out here. So right now, we're just going to rely on the box that we're seeing. Is Irvington, Kentucky in a tornado threat today? Not really. Florida? I don't cover Florida, my friend. You think it'll pass Burnside? No, this will probably come through Burnside here in about. This is going pretty slow here. Let me check the latest. Oh, they trimmed off the warning time, so it's no longer for an hour. Thank God, because that didn't make any sense. Whose office is this? Is Jackson? Okay. Moving northeast at 45 mile per hour. It's roughly about, what is that, maybe 10 to 15 miles away. So you're probably looking at about 15 minutes or so in Burnside. for it to be in your location. Again, this is the only cell in Kentucky really right now, so this is why we're kind of zoomed in. This is the only real cell that's producing anything in Kentucky right now. God bless you, President Trump. Buddy, get out of here. Listen, hey, don't take. Let me be careful. Don't take that as anything more than the fact that I just don't want political stuff in here. I know someone's gonna hear that and think, "Oh my God, he's a Trump hater. I gotta get out of here." No, it's not that. I'm not getting into any opinions. I just don't want to hear it. This is not that space. Go talk about it in your friend chat. Rebecca, if you could pass that photo on to me via our Facebook DMs. Again, Monticello, you are under a tornado warning. Touristville, Kidder, Delta, Blue John, Taterville, Burnside. Again, under that tornado warning for the next 25 minutes. Yes, I only cover Kentucky, my friend. Brooklyn, thank you for your $10 donation on YouTube. I appreciate that. This is Weather Not Politics, exactly. How's it shaping up for Louisville today? I don't really see a severe threat stretching that far north up there in Louisville, but could see some nice wind gusts off and on. I put Florida. That's because sorry. Sorry about that. I had a brain fart. Yes, I mean again, you're going to fly over some tough winds, so make sure you pack a little throw-up bag for the turbulence. And again, they'll stop you if you they'll delay the flight or stop it if they feel like they can't fly through it. Again, that's more so up to them than it is for me. What time will they be in Brandenburg? Again, guys, there's no time frame today, really. You're going to see storms all day long, rain all day long. The severe risk window is 3 to 8 p.m. Eastern time, and that's mainly for southeastern Kentucky and south central Kentucky, far south central Kentucky. Again, that's the peak severe window, but the storm there is no real storm window today because it's going to be raining and thunderstorming off and on pretty much all day. What is your opinion on the size of the J-Town tornado last night? Again, it's going to be really hard because a lot of the photos were at night, so you can't really tell what's a shadow. You can't really tell what's actually and the warning just got canceled. So thankfully they canceled that because again, to me guys, that has not looked like a tornado for the last 15 minutes. So I don't think there was any real amazing threat there. That warning has been canceled. No severe warnings in Kentucky. So now we can start to talk about more forecast stuff. But last night that tornado for J-Town. Some of the stuff I'm seeing, and there was definitely a correlation drop, which does indicate at least EF1. I think you're probably talking about high EF1, low EF2 for J-Town. Again, from what I'm seeing, there may be things that I'm not seeing that may indicate higher or lower. But once again, from what I saw last night, very briefly, again, I didn't really have a whole lot of time to look at it. Pictures. I think I measured 110 mile per hour wind gust, which puts it right at that EF1, EF2 threshold. And we did see that correlation drop as well, which is a debris ball, which means the tornado was strong enough to lift debris up into the atmosphere for the radar to pick it up. So I would say it's probably near the EF2 threshold. Have surveys started to come out for last night? No, not yet, but you can see the reports here. We refresh that. And this will continue to fill in over the next couple of days. This always takes about 48 to 72 hours to really begin to fill in. So the fact that we've already seen this many reports come in is actually quite astounding, because usually this takes, once again, 48 to 72 hours to really begin to fill in. Red is your tornado reports, blue is your wind reports, and green is your hail reports. I do expect that you'll see a confirmation in Louisville, like we talked about, maybe even Brandenburg, Cloversport, Whitesville, up in northern Kentucky. Again, part of that same cell. It may not have been on the ground the entire time, but that whole cell there was rotating north of Henderson, Kentucky. I think we saw some nice rotation just to the west of Mount Olivet back toward Georgetown, Kentucky. Trying to think. Bethlehem, Kentucky, and far northern Kentucky, we did see some rotation there. So there may be potentially another 7 or 8 tornado reports coming out for Kentucky as this line fills in. Yeah, the water amounts did trend down a little bit, thank goodness, but they're still looking pretty impressive. So 6 to 9 inches looks like a good bet for a lot of folks in Kentucky. So still a very impressive rainfall event over the next 72 hours. If the people in the blue circles do see tornadoes today, do you think they will be just spin-ups? I do think they'll be on the weaker side. EF1, EF2, which EF2 is technically a significant tornado, but EF1, I think, to EF, between about EF1 is basically, I think, going to be your max today. Again, I think the strongest tornado threat is outside of Kentucky today. Thank God, we've had plenty to deal with there. And it's back out there from Middle Tennessee, West Tennessee, and Arkansas, which Arkansas, those poor people down there. I mean, I swear, I think they've been a part of every higher end risk map that I've seen this year. Chiefs rule. If you can give me if you can send me a picture or video on our Facebook DMs, of course do that. But as of right now on radar, I do not see anything, and that warning has been dropped. Yeah, I did see some pictures coming out of Jeffersontown this morning, and I think it's right on the EF2 threshold. By the way, the rotation on that Albany storm that we saw when this storm first got rotating up there, that tornado has already been confirmed. So back out here, just to the west of Monticello, where the tornado warning started, out here in Albany, Kentucky, just to the northwest there, that tornado has already been confirmed. I guess it got some sort of video or photo evidence. Oh, wow. Hang on. I didn't see this that this person tagged me and Jesse on Twitter. This is from Jeffersontown last night in Louisville, where that tornado we were talking about. That's a full-on building collapse. That's definitely EF2. Once you start seeing full-on building collapses like that, that's when you're starting to go up a notch there. We do have quite a bit of twisting of the trees. Not debarked, so we know it's not a violent tornado. So now we're between EF2. I think we're right at EF2 right now. Wait, what was that? What was that? Is that a piece of metal that's lodged? I can't tell if that's something that's already there, been lodged into the road, or I mean into the grass there. If that's lodged in where it's been thrown and then shoved down to the ground like that, that's now you're starting to talk about a little bit higher in EF2.
This is insane, dude.
I want to see this. I want to see this area to this person's right. Now again, we don't know the construction level of this building here, so we can't really tell for sure. Was that a metal building? Can't tell. I'm not seeing any concrete or brick though, so I think right now we're looking at EF2 for that J-Town tornado. And again, that's the same one that we saw track from Brandenburg, Cloversport, all those places out there in northwestern, north central Kentucky. I cannot confirm tornado in Edmonson County last night. No. WeatherWise just issued an app update while we're live, introducing wind, dust, fog, smoke, and air quality related weather alerts. Oh, that's really cool. How do you see these? Oh, well, that's really good. Another new tool for WeatherWise. Guys, the tornado warning for that area has been allowed to expire, and not even expire. They've canceled it. There is no tornado warnings active, folks. Yeah, no tornado warnings active. I just double checked it over here on other. There's no tornado warnings active. There's no warnings active. What's the storm cell in Somerset look like? It looks like a dying cell that's starting to get ingested by a bunch of rainfall. Did Murray end up okay? No, we saw some very violent pictures out there just southwest of Murray. I haven't heard too much about Murray itself yet, but again, as sunlight begins to rise, a lot of folks will start to see those damages and begin to report them. All right, I think that's going to do it for us here. I didn't even mean to be live this long. Again, we did give some forecast updates for today, so if you are just now coming into the broadcast, this video will be on our YouTube and Facebook available for playback here soon. So watch the beginning of this video. We do have the forecast information for today included in that. But again, I didn't even mean to be live this long. That was just a random tornado warning, but it has already been confirmed for Albany, Kentucky. As of now, everything has dissipated. There are no active warnings. No one has to be in their safe spots. All right, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. Thank you so much for tuning into our broadcast. Until next time, stay safe, folks.